Hello guys and gals, it is Soulfax here. Before we start this video, just want to say if you haven't already, like and subscribe, tell your friends about this video and my channel, tell everybody, tell your grandma, tell your mother. If we can get 10,000 million likes on this video, it would be just awesome. If we don't get that amount of likes, I will literally shoot my brains out and I will send you a picture of it post-mortem. Also, I'm being sponsored by Monster Energy Drink, Red Bull, and betyourlifeaway.com, and also sellyoursoultothe devil.com, because my artistic integrity has been sold to the devil for a mere handful of coins. Ha! April's Fool. Yeah, that is the best joke that I could come up with for April's Fool. So anyhow, what's been going on with you guys this week? Well, I had a very good week because I did absolutely nothing this week. Let me first apologize for that intro, because I know it was absolutely horrible, but I think it's funny, so that's what matters, I think. But anyhow, I didn't do anything this week, literally nothing when it comes to my YouTube channel. Absolutely fucking nothing. The only thing that I'm doing this week for my YouTube channel is making this video, so I hope you're pleased with me and I hope you can support me in that. I'm just kidding. I had other things to do. Mainly, I was working on the website that I told you about a couple of times before in episodes on Mondays with Soulfax, and you will be pleased to hear that the website, at least the code itself, is 95% done. What follows now is just getting the site online and getting all the, I would say, starting articles written up by me and my colleagues. We like to call ourselves the Founding Fathers because that sounds awesome, doesn't it? The Founding Fathers. Like it's something very important and not just a stupid journalistic news site that is going to be not once upon a time, that is soon going to be online. But also, I don't want to talk too much about this site because, well, it's not finished. It's not online even. The only trace that the sites currently exist is on my computer and also on Dropbox. But yeah, anyhow, what else have I been doing this week? Well, I've been playing a lot of games. I've been trying to play a lot of games. Like, I downloaded Alien Isolation, played it for a couple of hours, and I don't know, I might play it a little bit later. I've also been trying to play through the DLC for Dark Souls, and that kind of just phased out. But I've been playing more of games that I don't own, so I've been pirating a couple of games, and that's one of the topics that I want to touch on today. So piracy and how piracy actually works, and is it immoral at all? Should you do it? Should I do it? Let's talk about that a little bit. So I'm going to be frank with you. When I was younger, when I was a lot younger than I am currently, it was in the beginning of 2000s to the early 2010s. I used to pirate 99% of my games that I played, so yeah, that's the thing. And there's a couple of reasons for that. So mainly, well, when you're a kid, you don't have a lot of disposable income, unless you come from a very wealthy family, which I don't. I consider my family to be lower middle class, and that is the truth. We do have enough money for rent, for utilities, and for food, and for some luxuries like phones and PCs and stuff, but we don't have, well, we do have enough money to buy video games, but it's just not practical to buy something that benefits only one person when we can use that money and buy something that benefits all of us, like a new TV or a new couch or something like that. So I hope you understand what I mean by that. And that trend of piracy continued into my early 20 years, but in the past couple of years, most of the games that I've played have been either free to play, or I've actually bought them with my own money and then played them extensively. Like one of the games that were Red Orchestra 2 and Rising Storm, Mountain Blade Warband, CSGO, I don't know, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, what else? Rainbow Six Siege, yeah, that's another game, Dark Souls and stuff like that. But those are games that I just recently purchased. Now, the point I'm trying to make with this little discussion here is I'm not trying to validate piracy. In my opinion, piracy is, in most cases, wrong, because people have worked on those video games for countless hours. Countless people have worked on video games for countless hours, and then you just come and say, yes, that is not worth to me absolutely anything, and I'm going to pirate it because it's free. Otherwise, I would have to pay for it. I'm going to be completely frank with you. I still do very, very, very rarely pirate games, and it is very, very rarely. And the main reason for that is because I currently don't have any disposable income, and I'm a piece of shit. But again, I'm going to purchase most of the games that I've pirated so far. Well, not so far, well, this year at least, when I finally do get a job. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that while pirating most games, especially newer games, is not very both moral or just legal in some states, in some countries, pirating some games is most definitely the right thing to do. And again, this sounds very condescending and just very douchey for me to say that pirating is justified in one way, but when we're talking about very old games, and I'm talking about games from the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox era, and I'm most talking about console games and old games that are just not on sale again in any current time or in any shape or form, when you pirate those games, that's basically the only thing that you can do. Now, one of the examples that I would like to make is Star Wars Galaxies. And Star Wars Galaxies, if you don't know, is an MMORPG that was made by Sony Entertainment, and it was shut down, I think, around about 2012, maybe 2013. Not really sure, but it had a very good run, but for some reason they decided to shut it down because it just wasn't generating enough income, I guess. I don't know, really. It was a great little game, and it's one of the games that I'm going to be talking about on the website that I'm making. Anyhow, so there is a active community for that game because of emulation. And there is a very big server that is usually visited about a couple of thousand people a day, so it's a thriving community. But one of the things that server tells you, that emulator tells you, one of the rules that you need to abide by if you want to play on it, is that you need to own a legal copy of Star Wars Galaxies. Not an account, just legally purchase the original CDs and install them on your PC, so you can get the client, which then you upgrade via the emulator. Now, that is impossible. That is currently, well, not currently, I just don't know. I can't be bothered to go on eBay and check, but a couple of years back when I was playing it, I wanted to purchase an original thing because I thought this was a rule that was enforced. In honesty, it's not enforced. I wanted to purchase the original CDs, but when I went over to eBay and Amazon, firstly, Amazon didn't have absolutely any copies of that CD up for sale, and on eBay, I found one guy that was asking, I think it was 120 euros for 3 CDs that were kind of scratched up. You could see it in the pictures, and I was very doubtful about whether or not they're going to be usable and are they going to still be working. So games like that, where they are not readily available for you to purchase them either via a download service online or in a retail store in retail shape, then I think that it's sort of justifiable to purchase those games. I meant to say pirate in that one, but it is somewhat justifiable to pirate games that you cannot purchase because they're not available to you for purchase. So yeah, that is still a morally gray area because those games still do retain some value to them because they're again a product of effort and passion by some people, even though it happened a long time ago and the value has definitely gone down, but still they do retain some value to them. So it is a moral conundrum whether or not you think that pirating old games is justifiable. But yeah, again, moving from this very, very dreary and very depressing topic to something that is slightly less depressing but caused quite a huge uproar on the internet. I think I've mentioned CD Projekt Red in this video. I don't know if I have, but I'm gonna mention it now because something happened to and about and around CD Projekt Red in the past couple of days. So CD Projekt Red has filed for a trademark of the word Cyberpunk. Now, a lot of people have been up in arms about that because they firstly don't understand what a trademark actually is, what a copyright claim is, or just a copyright is, and what a patent is. So let's just break it down very quickly here. So firstly, a patent is when you have a piece of software or a piece of hardware that you yourself created from nothing and you want to protect it from people who will come up to it and say, hey, we created that, take your patent, well not your patent, excuse me, take your hardware or software and sell it as their own. So when you make something that is original and that you want to protect, you usually go over to the patent office and file for a patent. Now moving on to copyright. So copyright, you're not basically copywriting a way of doing things, you're copywriting an idea. So a copyright would be for, let's say, for the Marvel universe of comics, and for the DC universe of comics, and for Batman, for Spider-Man. So people can't actually use Batman and Spider-Man in their movies and in their games and stuff like that without your permission. You're basically trademarking, excuse me, not trademarking, you're basically copywriting an idea for a thing. So an idea that there is this superhero in some sort of universe that can stick to walls and shoot web out of its wrist. So that is basically the copyright for who? For Spider-Man, yes, of course, Spider-Man. Then moving over to the least powerful of the three, that is the trademark. Now, when you're trademarking something, that is exclusive to the branch of things that you're trademarking it in. So you have a trademark for a word in movie industry, then you can only use that trademark when it comes to movies. Now, trademark is when you take a singular word or a singular phrase and you protect it and you align it with your company, so that when people see that word or that phrase, they know that it refers to your company. Now that we know what a trademark, a copyright, and a patent is, let's talk about what actually happened. So a couple of days ago, CD Projekt Red filed a trademark for the word Cyberpunk in Europe. Yes, they already own the trademark for the word Cyberpunk in the United States. So this uproar that's been brought over to the internet, well, that's been happening on the internet, is even more confusing to me because they already do own the same trademark, just in the United States. But anyhow, people have misunderstood this as that they think they're filing copyrights for the word or for the concept of cyberpunk. And cyberpunk is a genre of art, a futuristic genre of art where there's people that can go to virtual reality, machines, cyborgs, and stuff like that. It's sort of like Matrix, Blade Runner, Equilibrium, and stuff like that. It is the close future, but no aliens. So it's not sci-fi, it's close to sci-fi, but minus the aliens and interstellar travel. So they're not trying to copyright the idea of cyberpunk. No, they're just trying to trademark the word cyberpunk in the video games industry. Which again does not mean that people will not be able to make cyberpunk games or cyberpunk comics or name their games cyberpunk. They just won't be able to name their games simply and exclusively just cyberpunk, because CD Projekt Red is going to be releasing, I think late this year or early next year, their next game, Cyberpunk 2077. And they want to protect their brand, their new franchise, from people that just want to cash on its popularity, capitalize on its popularity of a game that is not their own, and make shitty clones of it and release it on the App Store, on the Android Store, on Steam, and stuff like that. And people have been very upset by this because, again, they think that CD Projekt Red is trying to copyright the idea of cyberpunk, and they're really not trying to do that. They're just trying to simply protect their future property from being exploited and from people just trying to sell their property as their own. And that is something that a lot of people do. Like Battlefield in video games industry is a word that is trademarked. You can't make a video game that is just called Battlefield, and you can't make a video game that is just called Doom. You can't make a video game that is called Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed. You can't make video games that are called like that. And for some reason, people are more upset over them trademarking the word cyberpunk than are over Battlefield, or EA in this case, trademarking the word Battlefield. So yeah, it just really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I just wanted to clear this up here. So even though it's kind of a shitty move that they're trying to trademark a very, I wouldn't say a very common word, but it's still a word that should not be trademarked. They're doing it with the best intentions, and they're being very good about this because they currently do own the trademark in the United States for the word cyberpunk, and they haven't issued a single takedown notice of games that use the word cyberpunk in them, which I know there is a couple of on Steam. So they're just literally trying to protect people from copying their future games, or from making a quick buck from releasing a game that is very similarly called to their games, and then they just want to protect their property. And I think that is a very valid thing to do when it comes to video games industry. And you might call me a CD Projekt Red shill or a fanboy, but I really just don't care because people have got this all wrong. Everybody does this. Literally every single developer, AAA dev, that wants to make a game that is a new IP property, they always try to trademark the name of their game. That has been done many times, many times in the past, and will happen in the future. People are just upset because it's CD Projekt Red. And CD Projekt Red is so quote-unquote perfect because they've made such amazing games, and every single game that they've made, they have improved upon the previous game they made, and there's very little room for smearing CD Projekt Red. And people, when they see a company that is beloved by fans, they just want to jump on the hate bandwagon at every opportunity. So I think that just people misunderstood what a trademark is and what a copyright is. So I hope I cleared this up. Yeah, anyhow, My name has been Soulfax. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Mondays with Soulfax. I will see you next week. Hopefully this Friday will be the last episode of The Witcher Stories, the 4th volume of A Grain of Truth. I hope this Friday. So yeah, I'll see you then. Bye bye.